So this says to circle the operation we're going to perform and then to model these. We'll model them, but I'm not so worried about the operation on these, okay? So we'll go ahead and model these, and then we'll find the sum as well. Alright, so 8 plus 9, we're going to need, we're going to need some models for this, right? Now, it does give us a number line on this worksheet, so we'll do that next, but let's go ahead and show this using tiles. So let's give ourselves 8 positive tiles, which is represented from this 8 radical. And bam, yes, and all these are positive. Look at these. Well, then it says to add 9 more chips, radical, and these are all positives, so let's put in 9 more. So there we go, and again, all of these are positive also, because that is a positive 9. So this is a nice model. We can see that if we counted all these, there's a group of 8 there, 8 more than 1. So that would give us, yes, a sum of 17 on this. Were there any zero pairs for this? No, there's nothing that canceled out because we only had positive tiles. Remember, only opposites will cancel out each other to make a zero pair. Alright, here's our next problem. This is 8 plus 9, but we're going to do this one on the number line, right? So we're going to start with the number 8 on the number line, which is shown right here. 3 to the right of 5. That's 8. That's where we will start on our number line. And then we're going to move to the right 9 units. And we know we're moving to the right because of this plus. And the plus direction is to the right. And we're going to do it at 9 units. So we may need some more space right here. Let's go ahead and count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units, which takes us to 17. That's what we had before, right? So that was our answer then. That's our answer now using a different model, which kind of confirms that the sum there is 17. Alright, number 3, this one has 5 negative tiles, so let's draw those out. 5 negative tiles. And then we've got 6 of these positive tiles that we're going to be adding to this. So let's draw those out. So there we go. So what is the sum if we add these? Well, since we're adding these, let's identify our zero pairs. There's a zero pair. There's another one. 3, 4, 5 zero pairs. All of these are going to cancel out, leaving us with, just this one single individual positive 1 tile. And that would be our sum. So on the number line, once again, the first number tells us where we're going to start. That's at -5 is where we will start. And from here, we're going to move to the right because this is a positive 6, and we're going to move to the right 6 units. So let's go and count those out. To the right 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 6. That takes us to 1. That would be our sum for this particular problem. 1. Alright, number 5, -6 plus -8.
Is that absolute value or just parentheses?
Those are parentheses.
So, -6 and -8, that means it's going to be positive. So, you do 6 negative tiles. And then 8 negative tiles. So, what I've been taught in 6th grade is that a negative and a negative and a positive and a positive will equal a positive, and then a positive and a negative, if it's low enough, will equal negative. So, actually, maybe this will equal negative too, because actually, I think you just add these together and you get some kind of negative. So 6 plus 8 is 14. So I think it'd be negative 14.
All right, what does the rest of the class think? Yeah? Okay, well, sure. All right, so there's a time where when we combine two negatives, it gives us a positive, but this is not that case, all right? This one, since we are adding these, all we're going to do is count each and every one of these negatives. By the way, is there any zero pairs in this problem? No, so nothing's canceling out. We can just count these out, and we can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 14. Bam, nailed it. Okay. So the answer is 14, but they were all negative, so yeah, we need to keep that negative there. All right, so on the number line, of course, we'll start with this negative 6 right here. That's negative 6. That's where we will start. But what direction are we going to go in? Yeah, we're going to go to the left because we are adding a negative. And the negative is really telling us to go in the opposite direction of this direction, which would be to the right. And the opposite of right is to the left. So we're really going in the negative direction. Okay? Now this 8 tells us how far, so let's just count that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bam. And we end at negative 14, just like we found with the tiles as well.
I'm so lost right now.
So on this number 2, I'm going to do it with tiles first, and then we'll do the number line stuff, right? So let's start with tiles. I'm going to give ourselves 7 positive tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a 7. We'll make them positive. All right, there's our 7 tiles that are positive. Let's get ourselves 2 negative tiles as well. 1, 2, both negative. Bam. The answer to this is 2. 2 zero pairs. Right here. You see that? So what happens to zero pairs? They cancel out, and we're left with 5.
No.
Positive 5.
Wait, so the answer
Or just 5.
is 2 0.
So the answer to this one is the model, because that's what it asked you to do, right? And then also to find the sum, which we have done. However, it also wanted us to use a number line. All right, with addition, here's what is going to happen. Is the first number is going to tell us where to start on the number line. So it's important to be able to identify where a number is on a number line. 7 is going to be 2 to the right of 5. Bam, 7. That's where we're going to start. And then the next number, since we're adding that, by the way, addition is usually to the right of this thing.
But you're adding a negative.
However, since this is a negative, the negative tells us we're going to do the opposite of that plus. So if plus is to the right, what's the opposite of the right?
Left.
The left. So we're going to go to the left 2 times because it's a negative 2. 1, 2, bam. We end up at 5 right here. And that was our answer when we used the model. This is our answer when we use the number line. Let's go ahead and add these 2 together. So we've got negative 9. Let's give ourselves 9 negative tiles. There's our 9 negative tiles. Let's give ourselves 4 positive tiles. Well, do we have any zero pairs? Sure we do. How many do we have? 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. These all cancel out, of course. And what are we left with?
5.
Yeah, we got these 5. But it's not just any 5. It's a negative 5. Bam. All right. Let's do this on the number line, negative 9 plus 4. So what are we going to do? We're going to start at this negative 9 right here. So we are to the left of 0, as you can see on this number line. We're going to start at negative 9, which is 1 to the right of negative 10. And yes, for negatives, the farther to the left we go, the more negatives they will be. Or in other words, they're just going to be larger negatives. Okay? And then it says we're going to add 4. So that's add, which means we're going to go to the right. 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that ends us at negative 5, which is what we got when we did the tiles as well. Alright, so for the problems on this page, we're going to model these. At least for the first few we'll model, and then we will stop modeling probably, and then just do them mathematically. The choice is really yours if you want to or not. The question really is, what type of models do you guys prefer? Do you like the number lines, or the tiles as circles? What do you guys want to do? Number line? Depends on the situation. All right, well, we can switch back and forth either way. So, number 8. Who wants me to do a number line? A couple. How many guys want me to do tiles? Okay, so tiles have it on this one. So the next one we'll do a number line, okay? So, for this one, number 8, let's model this with some... It may not be number 8 on your paper, by the way. It looks like it may have messed up, so... So, okay. Okay, well, good. Then it did work out. Kind of good. All right, well, 5. We need 5 positive tiles, and you guys said you wanted circles on these, and that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter what shape you use. If for some reason you like triangles, you can use those. I don't know why you do trapezoids only because, well, that's kind of weird, but whatever. All right, there's our 5 positive tiles. Let's get 4 negative ones in here. And these are all negative, by the way. So are we going to have 0 pairs? Yes, we are. Bam, there's one of them. 2, 3, 4. All of these cancel out, and we're just left with this one right here. That's a positive 1. Bam, we found our sum. It's a positive 1. You guys don't have to show the positive there if you don't want, but you can. Let's do this one using a number line. Now notice they didn't give us a number line on this, right? So we're going to have to make our own. So let's make ourselves a number line. I'm going to put 0 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negative. That's a negative 5. Why do I want to start with negative 5? Because that's our first number right there. Negative 5. That tells us where to start. And this one's adding a 9 right here, which means we're going to go to the right 9 spaces. Right. 9. So let's count those out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I didn't have those there before, so we need them. So what was that? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bam. There we go. So our answer here, negative 5 plus 9, is a positive 4 using the number line. Of course, you get the same thing with the tiles. How many 0 pairs are there if we use tiles? Yes. Right here. 5. Excellent. Yeah. Very good. All right. Good luck.
Good luck, yes. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Use a model, use a number line, whatever you want to do.
Snap. Wouldn't it just be negative 9?
I don't know.
I don't know either. What did I do it? So we have 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 negative stuffs, blocks, whatever you want to call them. And then 0 positives, so it would just be negative 9, wouldn't it?
What do you guys think? All right, the class seems to agree.
Yay,
It appears that it would be negative 9. Now she said something interesting on this. Well, no, that is interesting. But how do we represent 0? With nothing. You just don't have to draw any tiles for that, okay? So be careful. I bring that up because it is common for me to see this where I see a tile. It doesn't have a sign in it. It's just a 0 tile, okay? But there's no reason to really put that in there, okay? So be careful. This one may be pretty rough. Just be careful, all right? You just never know.
Okay.
Good luck.
Oh, okay. Holy crap, this is hard. So, negative and plus a positive. Pretty hard.
I don't even
He's fine.
Hey,
You guys
how
know what it is.
do I erase it?
You're fine. It's good.
There. There's a positive.
Nice.
Yeah. So it equals. So it would be negative 1. So negative 1 plus. So it would be 0.
How do you get 0?
Because you go over 1 to the right.
No,
right.
because
Okay, so now you said over 1, which makes it
No.
sound like you're using a number line.
Oh yeah. So I should just do a number line then.
No, not
So
necessarily.
it'd be,
This is
yeah, I'll
fine.
just be going over 9 for 1.
All right, can someone else
It'll
tell
still
us
be
why it
1.
would be 0?
It'll still be 0
Yes.
because you just move over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have done a number line, but same thing.
Yeah, it's okay.
Same thing.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
What do we? Yeah, whatever. What do we call this when we combine a negative and a positive like this? What do we call it when we combine these? Say it louder. Zero pair right there, okay? So, there's one of our zero pairs. He's a good number liner, so he's going to do this one for us.
Pretty good. Okay. Straight line. So I'm not gonna do the arrows. I just don't feel like it. Okay. Wait. We're doing 7. Negative 9. 0. Seven, 8, 9. Okay. And you do -7.
We need more space, right?
Sure.
There we go. Wait, hold on. Go back and get you some space with the pencil.
Okay. Right out there. So you want to add 7 plus 9, which would be 16. So
There you go.
okay. Okay, so 16 would be your answer. 16. And that's crappy, but whatever. 16. Yep. Because you add 9, -9 plus -7. And then you want to go to the left, so it'd be -16.
All right. All right, well, I just want to expand on this a little bit, okay? This was very good. So let's first find our -9, right? So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9er. There's our -9er. So be careful on the number lines that you guys create because notice there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces in between that. That would only take us to -13. So we would need a few more just to really show this. So -16 really should be about right there, okay? Just be careful. I mean, it's kind of a minor formality, but it's important to have these scaled so that they look nice and pretty. All right, on this side of the page, notice it does not ask for models. All it wants is the sum. So if you want to just find the sum for us, that'd be fine. If you want to show the model, though, that's fine too, okay? So let's start with number 9er. All right, good luck.
So no model.
Okay, how'd you get that?
I added them.
You added them. Okay, well, fair enough.
Put that negative sign on it.
All right, there you go. Please explain how you get it, though, okay?
Okay. I'll do a model. Can I do a
That's
model?
fine, yeah.
Okay. So. Oh, wait. How do I.
She's lost the pen.
How do I do the. Okay.
What?
You. Shh.
There's 10 positive
You know what I
tiles.
said? You did it?
So there's 10 positive tiles and 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 11 negative tiles. So there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There'd be 10 zero pairs, and the answer would be -1. -1.
Excellent work. Very good. Let's give ourselves these first two. Oh, you guys, I'm sorry. You guys want me to use tiles or number lines for this one? Tile, okay. All right, tiles first. So let's give ourselves 2 negatives up and count. And then we're going to add to that 3 negatives. 1, 2, 3 negatives. And how many zero pairs are there?
None.
There's none of them.
It's negative 5.
Yeah, therefore we're just going to combine all these to make a negative 5. So we have, why is this negative 3 in parentheses? Well, let's try looking at this without parentheses. You guys tell me what you think. Okay, so negative 2 plus negative 3. What the heck is that? Right?
Oh.
Do you want to add? Do you want to subtract? We multiply, divide? What is it? Right? But as soon as we put that in parentheses, oh, I can see now we're adding a negative 3. All right.
Got that.
Number 6.
Oh.
Good luck.
Oh no. Okay, so
Carter.
yeah. And then, so you have the negative 2, and then you got the positive 6. We're not going to be able to fit it. Watch. Oh, I'm a magician. So you take those pairs out, and then, yeah, then you have 4. And, should I write 0 pairs?
No, that's fine. Is it
It's
four
positive.
positive or negative?
Oh, no, it looks like a T.
T4?
Yeah.
Either way, we know what you mean.
Yeah.
All right, the
Sounds-
answer is a positive 4. Very good. There we go.
YouTube famous. Calm down.
Boom, there you go. 3's your answer.
All right, how do you get 3?
Well, you do 9, and then you just add. You use your fingers like 9, 10, 11, 12. How many fingers do you have up?
That's actually pretty good. How many of you guys are too ashamed to use fingers when counting? I don't, because it's good. Yeah, do. It's good to use your fingers when counting because it helps you to keep track of stuff. Unless you still struggle, like 4, 6, 7, 8. Uh-oh, what happened there, right? All right, number 2. Here we got negative 4, which is right here. And then we got 3 up in here. So, once again, let's take a look at these two. How far apart are these? And you could count, right? But then, yeah, 7 units apart between these, all right? So why would we be finding distance between points? What type of operation tells us distance? Subtraction. Very good. So if you can find the distance between two numbers, it's kind of the same thing as subtracting them. It's just we got to know which direction we're going, because if we went to the left from 3 to negative 4, then what is the difference between those two? Well, what direction did we go in? We went in the negative direction. And then we can see they're 7 units apart. Okay? But let's say that we went to the right, starting from negative 4. Well, we know they're 7 units apart, but which direction did we go in? The positive direction. That's a good question. Why does it matter if it's negative or positive 7? Because the problems you guys are going to see on the homework and in the notes is something like this. Negative 4 minus 3. Or you may see 3 minus negative 4 like this. How these are written makes a big difference on how they will turn out. Okay. Now right here it says to circle the operation. We're not really worried about that. I mean, if you really wanted to, you can. But now it kind of looks sloppy, so we would have to rewrite it anyway. So I'm not so worried about the operation. You guys should know that this is subtraction one way or the other. All right. If not, you need to do a lot of studying because you're a little behind in the class, which is okay. It just means that you're going to have to do a little extra work. Well, what's a context for 8 minus 3? One very common context, by the way, is just a word problem. How would we use this in a word problem, right? Let's say you have $8, and then the minus would mean that you spent some monies, and the 3 tells you how much. So you had $8, but then you spent $3. Or maybe other people like, if it's not money, then it's some kind of food. And since it's right before lunch, it helps us, right? So something like, let's say I had 8 pigs, and I eat 3 pigs. How many pigs does I have? You see what I'm saying right there? Okay. Now these are pretty easy. Does someone else, let's have one. Someone give us one other context that you're thinking of for this. Yes?
I had, never mind.
Okay. Yeah.
There was 8 slices of pizza and someone ate 3 slices.
Bam. There you go. That works. Okay. Any of those work? Yes?
You had eight dogs, but then two of them ran away, so you only had 5.
There you go. Or you ate the dogs too. Either way, whatever you want. All right, same idea for this one. This is the next problem, by the way. So this has changed, though. It's not 8 minus 3 anymore. It's 3 minus 8. Now, this one can still be used for money, right? So let's say, for example, maybe you got $3 on your credit card to your credit, but then you spend, that would be the minus $8. Then how much money do you have on your credit card? Yeah, you'd have -5. But there are other contexts. Does anyone else want to tell us really loud into the iPad so that everyone can hear what it is? Yeah.
So, should I write it?
No, just tell us.
Okay. So, for this, so just how to explain it. So just like, okay. So you have $30, right? No, it's still gonna be like 30 maybe.
Well, this is 3.
Okay. So you have $3 and spend $8. So
Oh.
now you're in debt.
Nice. Unfortunately, we did that one.
Yeah.
So.
I was gonna say that before though. That's what
Oh,
I was gonna
okay.
say.
So I stole yours.
Yeah, you stole
Okay,
mine.
fair enough. Yes,
Could you do this with pigs? Like, you can't have negative food, though.
that's right. So for eating pigs, it's not going to work.
You can't eat
Okay.
them. I wish you got them. That would be like infinite pigs. You'd just be in debt.
So that's a good point. What kind of context would work? Well, we already know what's the difference between 3 and 8. 3 minus 8 is -5. So we need something that will allow us to go into the negatives, like money. By the way, don't ever do that. But don't avoid debt at all costs. See the pun there? All right. Something like people like sports. So football is one of those. Your team gains 3 yards and then loses 8 yards. Bam. There you go. Or it's 3 degrees and then it goes down 8 degrees. What is the temperature? You see what I'm saying? So let's take a look at this problem, and then we'll kind of look at this problem. We're going to use the same numbers. We're just going to switch them around. Okay, so kind of a reciprocation of these two numbers. -1 minus -7. Well, let's look at this in context of a number line. Okay, so a number line, right here. And we're going to do this 2 different ways, by the way. So let's go to 0, and then we're going to start right here at -1, correct? Well, at -1, that's where we're starting. But it tells us to go in the minus direction. That's to the left. Okay? Now, since that's telling us to go to the left, we have a negative, though, with that, which means that we're going to go in the opposite direction of the left. So we're going to about face that thing and go to the right.
Like a face.
Well, it's about face. It's just a figure of speech. 7. We're going to go to the right 7. Does everyone understand why we're going to the right there? Question. Let's go and find out. We're going to go to the right 7 units, right? So let's do that.
But it's in the negative.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what value is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? So we did end at 6. And it appears that this ends up at a positive 6. So -1 minus -7, as it turns out, because we went to the right, not the left.
Why did we go to the right and left?
Remember, this tells us the negative, or the minus right here. This minus tells us we're going to go to the left. The negative tells us we're going to go the opposite direction of this. So we're going to go the opposite of left, which is to the right. Let's look at this a little bit differently. And we'll do it in context of that different stuff that we started the class, or this particular part of the assignment with. Let's start with 0, or let's look at these numbers on the number line. There's -1 right here. -2, 3, 4, 5, that's -5. It's not there, but let's go 2 more to the left. There's -7, correct? So let's identify these. These are the 2 numbers on this number line. Now it's the difference, which means we just want the difference between these. Well, how far apart are they? They're 6 units apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What am I doing there? 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. They're 6 units apart, but which direction did we go? For subtraction, you always start with the number on the right. That's where you start, okay? So we started with the -7. we went to the right, which means that it's going in the positive direction, 6 units. Again, that's what we got before. This is different because with addition, which number did we start with? The first number, right?
First number.
So for addition, we would have started with -1, right here. And then we would have went to the right, I guess -7, if that was addition. But since this is subtraction, we're starting with the second number. Bam. -7 minus -1. We're going to relate this to each other. So on the number line, let's start again with the number line up in count. We'll start with this -7 stuff. So let's go to, -7. -1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's -5. -6, -7 up in count. And from -7, let's move this over. From -7, this minus tells us we're going to go to the left. But this negative tells us we're going to do the opposite. I'll write that in there. Opposite of the left. So what's the opposite of left? Right. So that's why we're going to go to the right. How far? 1 unit. Bam. There it is. -6. That's the answer to this one. -6.
So we started.
All right, let's look at this a little bit differently though, right? With the different stuff. So let's start. We got a 0, -1, -2, 3, 4, 5, 6, -7 right here. This is where these numbers are. That's -7. There's -1. Once again, how far apart are these? 6 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The question is, which direction did we go in? Well, we always start with the second number when we look at the difference. So we started -1. We went to the left. The left is the negative direction. That's why it's -6. All right, so see the difference? On this first one, we got a +6, okay, for a couple different reasons. They're kind of the same, though. And then over here, we had this is -6, again, because of the direction, or, well, I guess it's still direction. So, all right, plot each pair of points on the same number line. So 3 and 8. Again, if we can just identify where 3 is, which is right here. And then 8, right here. Then we've done it right there. Now here's the next question though, and it's not really part of the worksheet, but how far apart are 3 and 8? 5 units, right? So let's identify that. I'm going to show that right here. 5. It's 5 units. Is it 5 units or -5 units?
5.
What if I told you it was -5?
You'd be wrong and shouldn't be a teacher. It could be -8.
What? Well, as you guys can see at the top of this worksheet, this is subtraction right here. So when we start subtracting, as it turns out, you can get negatives now, okay? So let's look at some other problems. Like these two, -1 and -7. So -1 is right up in here. -7 is right here. How far apart are they? 6?
Negative.
Or -6? Now, do you guys say negative just because we're in the negatives?
Well, how would it?
All right, yeah, that's very good. As it turns out, it does depend on which way we are going. There, okay. So let's look at this 3 minus -4, right? Now, yeah, we may know the answer, but it's not really what this problem is asking for. It's asking for us to make a word problem that would represent this, okay? So how would we represent 3 minus -4?
I have $3 and then I spend $4.
You have $3, then you spent $4, right?
I have 3 pies and
No. Now we say spend because it's either minus or negative, and we need to know which one you think it is. But let's find another representation that would work. Okay. Yes.
It doesn't work with anything. I have 3 apples. Somebody orders 4 apples and -1 apple.
Not quite. Not quite.
I
Okay.
eat
You have 3 apples.
out of 4.
Someone orders 4 apples. You're close. You guys are on the right track.
I ate
Okay.
3 apples out of 4.
No.
Then that
No.
would have -1.
All right. What about you? Hey, she's trying to talk.
And I had to pay for one, and I didn't get my other apples.
Close.
They had to pay me for one.
Interesting. Yes.
I ordered 4 apples and only got 3.
No. Yes.
Okay, so I have $3 and I buy a toy and I buy a toy for $4. So you'd put it as a negative because you can subtract 4.
All right, let's look at this in a context, okay? So we could say, I'm going to use this in terms of walking just like we did in the bell work, okay? So let's say 3, that's a positive 3, by the way. So I'm going to use north as positive, right? So I'm going to start right here at 3, or 0, and then I'm going to walk north 3 steps, right? 1, 2, 3, so that's really where we're starting, is at 3. You can see you walk north 3 if you want. I'm only using north so that we have some kind of orientation to go with, okay? So this says that we're going to minus a negative 4. So minus would be south in this one. But I'm going to go the negative of south, which is which direction? North. I'm going to go north another 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I would end up 7 steps from the starting point. That is why the answer to this is 7. Alright, so on a number line, what we would do is, remember the first number, that's where we always start, right? So I'm going to start at 3. 1, 2, 3. That's going to be our starting point right up and count. Well, this says to subtract. Well, which direction is subtraction? It's to the left. But the negative, right here, tells us we're going to do the opposite of left, which is to the right. How far? 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 7, and so that's why the answer there is 7. All right, let's look at a number line, but just in a different way. Up and count. So I'm going to make a number line, and remember like we were identifying where the numbers were in the beginning. So let's identify the numbers on the number line, right? 1, 2, 3, that's 3. That's 0. Negative 4 would be 1, 2, 3, 4 units away from 0. So this is where negative 4 is. This is where 3 is. Now, how far apart are these things?
7 units.
Yeah, they're 7 units apart, but we need to know which direction we went, because the direction will tell us if it is positive or negative. So how do we know which direction we went in? Well, what we can do is we always start, for subtraction, we start at the second number. So I'm going to start at negative 4. What direction do I go in to get to 3? I go to the right. That is why this is a positive 7. So they've just kind of reciprocated this thing. The negative 4 now is in front. Negative 4 minus 3. So you guys like that number line way. Let's try that and the distance, right? So let's identify these. We got 0, 1, 2, 3. Because we're subtracting, that would be a positive 3. And then we also got negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 negative to the left. So that's where we are, right? Right up and count. Well, how far apart are these? They're still 7 apart. It's just which direction did we go in? We're going to start at 3, and then we're going to go to negative 4, because we started the second number there. So start at 3. Which direction did we go in? We went to the left. 7 is how far? And since we went to the left, that is what makes the 7 negative. So try it out. She's going to try it. And then if she needs help, then we'll help her, or I'll help her, or, well, she'll get some help if she needs it. Good luck.
Okay. So 7 and 2, and then we just find the distance between by going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
And which direction?
Either way. don't know. I think you get the same answer either way.
Okay. Let's see. So, let me see this here. Now, if we go to the left, does that would make this a negative 5, correct? So, if we will go to the right, then it's going to make it positive. So, which direction are we going in?
Right.
Yeah, we're going to the right because what number do we start with when subtracting? The second one. So, we're going to start at 2, and then we're going to go to the 7, making that a positive 5. For both A and B, the difference is 5. I can use number line. Yeah, okay, let's skip that one and go to 8. So since you guys like that technique, just finding the distance, let's identify where 2 is. There it is. Found it. And then we got the 7 right count. There's a 7. Well, how far apart are these? They're 5 units, and we could count that, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The question is, which direction did we go in? Again, we're starting at the second number, the 7. So we'll start here, and we got to go to the left, making this a negative 5. All right, let's model 8 minus negative 7 on the number line. And they gave us the number line. That was very generous. All right, so continuing this, we got this 8 right here. And then negative 7 is right up in count. So once again, how far apart are these? We could count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 15. Bam, got it. Question is, which direction did we go? Well, we're going to start at the second number, which is negative 7, right at count. And we're going to go to the right, making that positive 15. What is negative 8 minus 7? Well, once again, we could identify this on a number line. But let's think of this more in terms of some type of context, okay? Let's say that you owe me $8, okay? Which you guys really want to give me anyways, right? Whatever. And then let's say that we got this minus, which would be more like spending. Let's say you spent another $7, right? So how much money do you have in relation to how much you started with? Well, you owed me $8, then you lost another 7 or spent a 7. So you really have a negative $15. Again, this test circle the operation for the sake of time. We're going to skip that garbage. Let's just do this on the number line, whichever method you like, and then we'll find the difference between these two. Would someone like to do number 12 for us, please? Good luck.
Okay, so you start on negative 3. It's not writing. Oh my, what did I do? And then it's minus, but then there's the negative 10, and so it makes you add, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then it's 7.
Bam. Excellent work. Thank you. All right, 17. Let's ignore this number line stuff because you guys seem to have this down all right. Let's just look at this problem. So if you guys are still struggling, just understand that if you see minus a negative, this is only for minus a negative. By the way, there's that green poster over there that kind of helps you guys with this stuff. If you see subtract a negative, some people call this, well, I'm going to ignore that actually. I'm going to change this just to a big fat plus sign, right account. That's only for minus negatives. Well, then I've got negative 15 plus 25. So if you prefer to do just addition, you can just change this into an addition problem, okay? Just like this. So then you got negative 15 plus 25, which you may use the number line for. Well, it's just an option anyways. So right, you start at negative 15. Now we're just using addition, so we're going to go to the right, 25 units. There's 10, 25. Bam, we end up at 10. And that's our answer. Positive 10. Good luck.
Okay. Oh no. Okay, wait, I can't see down here. Okay, so start at 3. That's 2. And then mark the 10. And see how far apart they are. You always look at the second number, 10, you're going left. Well, they're 7 apart, so it's -7.
Why negative?
Because you went to the left.
Bam, excellent work. Good job.
I ruined it even more.
Good luck.
Thanks. Okay, so first what you're going to do, so you have 14 and 20. So then you're going to go to, if I can find it, there it is. So you're going to mark it, because you're going backwards. So you're going to mark it, and that would be 14. And then because you have 20, it's just going to be like right here, because it says 20, obviously. So then you just do 14 minus 20, and so you're going to go back. You're going to go back 20. So what I do, I just kind of skip count. So I'll go 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19, 20. So I end right here, if I can go. There you go. And then, so if you make that jump, so if you can make that jump, which would be -6. -6 is our answer for right now. Not for right now, it's there. So.
Now, did everyone understand that technique right there? That's pretty good, okay? With that technique, which is what we've done, we did that kind of already, is we just have to be careful which direction we go, all right? Because if it's minus the negative, which direction do we actually go? To the right.
Right.
Because it's opposite of the left. Minus a negative, okay? Excellent work. So let's do this the way that he was talking about right there. So let's start with the 6, right? So here's our 6. And, well, this is where we're going to start. And it says we're going to go to the left because that's minus. But it's minus the negative. The negative is the opposite of that, which is addition. So we're really going to go to the right 16 times. And we're going to need more space. Which would take us all the way up to 22. Write the count. Because that's 16 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 16. 22. There we go. This one is 22. 24, 15 minus -8. So here's what we can do sometimes, okay, is this one doesn't require the models, so that's okay. And we don't really need a model on this one. So what you can do is if you ever see minus a negative, here's what you may do if you want, but it's really up to you. See how we got that minus a negative? We're just going to change it into a big fat plus sign like this. And then I've got 15 plus 8. Well, 15 plus 8 is a lot easier for me to do anyways. So when I combine these two, I get 23. I mean, you could use a number line to get that as well. But changing that to a plus may be helpful for you. Because now I've got 15 chips and 8 chips, all positive, bam, 23. There's that green poster over there. And we got -12 minus -9. So it should be -21. Positive 21. Why -3 though?
Wait, it's 3. It's 3.
Alright, we're going to add this together. Now this is another way to look at this since we've changed it to addition, right? See how we have more negatives than positives? These 9 are just going to zero pair out 9 of these. So we know we're going to have -3 out of this. Alright, 25. -10 minus -6. Bam. -16.
You got that pretty quick.
4.
Math, he knows.
Negative.
I don't know. Not for math.
Negative
4.
Negative
4. Okay, good.
Negative 4.
Very good. The answer to this one is -4.